Ringside.
Pita, congrats on the pairs of wins today.
Thank you.
Just your thoughts on working tonight, and then knowing that your father had such a big fight, going on across the pond.
It sucked because we wanted to go. We wanted to go to the fight. We wanted to go, support. But we had the fights here, so we had to stay here and work. But the guys here did a really good job, man. All 4 guys won. We had Antonio who got a TKO in the second round. Xavier, 5th or 6th round. Lindolfo had a really tough fight, but pulled it through. And then Giovanni just won a decision right now too, so it was a good night.
Yeah, maybe not such a good night for Team Joshua, but Joshua showed a lot of improvements in that fight. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but just your overall thoughts on what you heard or might have
I saw the first 2 rounds and then the last 4 because we walked out to go take Antonio to go fight. So I thought in the end of the fight, in the 9th round, he did really good. Hurt him to the body, had a big round, but then he let Usyk control the last 3 rounds, and that's what gave Usyk the fight.
Of course, man, when a fight of this magnitude happens and one loses, there's a lot of criticism, but your father came in there on, it's pretty much their first fight together, but how do you feel your father had helped Joshua, and if he gave you any kind of insight on what was going on in there?
Yeah, look, he was telling me how things were going, and when things were doing, he was doing good and stuff. I thought the thing with AJ it looked like he was working the body a lot more, which was part of the game plan they were doing. So he worked the body, So he worked to the body a lot more, but. Like I said, he had a really big 9th round, and I know at that point in a fight, especially for heavyweight, you get tired. You have a big round where you throw a lot of combinations, but that's the difference between, that's the difference of why Usyk was able to win, because he was just as tired too. He was really, really tired, but when that happens, these guys, they have the next level guys have that next gear where they're just like, you know what, they're like, fuck it, like this is it. And they pushed through it, and it looked like Joshua, the last 3 rounds, he looked like he took him off. So, that's where Usyk took over the fight. Because the way the scorecards were, it was a close fight, and if you give away all last 3 rounds, then you're not really giving yourself a shot.
Your dad has had his fair share of big wins and big losses as well. He left the gym completely to you, man, to go train Anthony Joshua.
Well, not just to me, Chepe,
exactly.
We had Art, we had
team,
Felipe, Charles,
It's a big sacrifice from your father. Just explain to the fans of what your dad took on with Joshua,
Look, my dad, it's happened before where he's been offered to help a big name fighter. It happened years ago when with Miguel Cotto, when he left, I forgot what trainer he left. I think right before he went with Freddie Roach. Top Rank had already booked my dad's flight to go help Miguel Cotto. My dad stayed back because he had Brandon and I forgot who else, Brandon, Luevano, Valoria. They had fights coming up, so he decided not to go. This time when it came around, we pushed him to take it because the fight itself is for you to have a heavyweight world champ is different. You know what I mean? Like it's a different level of that's what. How the fuck? It's just, I don't know, it's just a lot bigger, you know what I mean? Like, to have a heavyweight world champ would have meant a lot, for the gym and for my dad and for his legacy and stuff. So we pushed him to go do it, There was, obviously, we had big fights coming up with Bam and with these guys. We made sure we told him, me, Chepe, Charles, all the guys, we made sure he told him not to worry, that we had everything under control, that, we would make sure that these guys are ready. And he had the confidence in us to leave us with those guys and to go do it because at this point, I feel like my dad deserved to go work a big fight like that. You know what I mean? He deserved to be in that big kind of magnitude, and he wasn't able to pull off the win, but it was cool. It was cool that he was able to do that. You know what I mean?
For sure, you're doing an amazing job, by the way. But what do you think of Usyk and Fury? It looks like they both want it. They've already communicated, whether it be through their post-fight or social media. What do you think, man?
That's a great fight, man. I would favor Fury just because of the size, because of how big he is compared to Usyk. And he's really light on his feet. He can box too, so that Usyk won't have too big of an advantage with that. But it would be a great fight, man. Usyk, you can't count him out of anything, man. He's I think he's probably the pound for pound best fighter, right now, up there with Terrence Crawford, Inoue, a few guys, and he's up there. He's the top 5 pound for pound for sure.
Fury's a little more mobile, better conditioning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think, he's lighter on his feet. He could use, he uses his jab. He could keep that pace, for the whole fight. We saw in the Wilder fight, In the 12th round, when somebody gets dropped like that after going 11 rounds with Deontay Wilder, and then in the 12th round you get dropped, to be able to get up from that, that's the next level thing that I'm talking about that AJ needed in those last 3 rounds. When you're tired and you know your conditioning isn't there, like you're just like fuck, you have to like suck it up. Like there's like a next a next gear that you have to just give it your all, and Fury's shown that he does that in the 12th round with Wilder. He showed that, so I think I would favor Fury, but it wouldn't be an easy fight at all.
Last thing, where does Joshua go from here? He broke down in his press conference, but I mean that's respectable because it was such a hard moment at this point of his career, man. But where does Joshua go from there?
Look, man, he's still. There's you can name probably 4 heavyweights of the top 4 heavyweights in the world right now, which are
Fury, Wilder, Usyk, and Joshua.
Yeah, there it is. Those 4. Just to be, he's among the 4 best heavyweights of the world right now. He could still come back and fight. Deontay Wilder. Him and Deontay Wilder would be a fucking sick fight. It would be a crazy fight. And yeah, he's still at the top. He's a top 4 heavyweight right now. No matter what anybody wants to say, he's one of the best heavyweights. He has one of the best resumes at heavyweight. Just Usyk had his number, man. Usyk was able to beat him twice, so Usyk has his number. But you know what? He could still be, fight, Tyson Fury. He could fight Deontay Wilder, and those would be great fights.
Luis Ortiz, maybe?
Yeah, Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz. Yeah. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of the heavyweight division is really doing good right now, man. There's a lot of good buzz, a lot of good young guys right now. Jared Anderson's one of them. There's a lot of good things with the heavyweight division right now, and AJ's nowhere near done. So I think he can still come back and become champ again. Just Usyk is a great fighter.
Cool, Pita. Congrats on the success. Thank you, man. You're doing a great job.